So my guest, as you've seen, is the lovely Cathy Nesbitt. And Cathy she's got Sprouters and Cathy's Laughter Club. And she is a multi-award-winning environmental innovator who uses workshops and inspirational speaking to motivate people to live a more sustainable life. Cathy is a certified laughter yoga teacher. She's an appointed laughter ambassador, and this was happening in 2017 by Dr. Madan Kataria, founder of Laughter Yoga. Cathy is an avid cyclist and gardener, and she has a worm farm, and I love that. That's unless you don't have the worm farm anymore, Cathy, welcome.
Thank you, Rose. Oh, I'm excited. Of course, it's the 20th anniversary of my worm business.
Wow, yeah, that's how we got together. Oh, geez, when I first started the podcast, and you had your worm farm going, and your laughter yoga. Yeah, so I'd love to learn a little bit more about what laughter yoga is.
Yeah, thank you. We need it more than ever today, Rose. Oh my gosh. Whenever we get into a stressful situation, laughter helps. It doesn't make it go away. It doesn't make the situation vanish, but it certainly helps us cope better. So laughter yoga was started in 1995 by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his goal is world peace through laughter. There are clubs around the world, everybody laughing, how fun. And when you're laughing together, you don't want to hurt each other. You're connected. And when you feel good, you want to do good. So a laughter club. So laughter yoga is not about fancy pants or poses. It's intentional laughter exercises designed to make us feel good. And so when we're laughing, we do feel good.
Yes. Yeah, now that's certainly true. And I lost my train of thought then. And if you're not laughing, then, you're crying, and there's no point in crying, because to be honest, it just makes all the bad endorphins come to the surface, and laughter brings about all those good endorphins, and it makes your life much more pleasant.
It makes it easier to cope with life when you kind of coast up. I don't mean coast along. I make it seem like my life is so easy. It wasn't always. This is a choice, deciding to laugh and deciding to raise my vibration rather than get mired down in the muck. Things happen. I know we have tech issues. You're having a 3-day summit. Things could happen. And we got to be at the ready. And so laughter really just helps us become more resilient. And I have an example from today, how laughter helped me, how I realized how much I've grown since I've started laughing. And it's not like I just learned to laugh. I was always laughing, but, intentionally. So I had, now laughter is taking off. I do have a worm business that's paying bills. And now laughter, I'm getting these laughter gigs, paid laughter gigs, because we need it more than ever, right? We're having this mental health tsunami. So I really want people to care about the planet, but when we're in a crisis, that's all we can care about. So today I had a corporate gig. I was all set. I had my laughter club this morning. All was fine. So I was like, good, my Zoom room's working. Hallelujah. 5 minutes before my Zoom, my corporate gig, my paid laughter gig, hello, no internet. Yikes. And before I would have freaked out, I really would have freaked out, thinking about the people waiting, the client that I'm letting down, all these people. However, and yes, that's all true, I did let all those people down, and it was out of my control. So either I can freak out about it and it's still out of my control, or I was incredibly calm, and so I spoke with the client after everything came back on, and to apologize, we'll just reschedule. What can you do? That's how it goes.
Yes, that's very true. It's just when things go wrong, you need to remember that not to frown it, but to smile, because there's always a reason for something. I don't, and you probably can't work it out at the time, but there is a reason that something's gone a bit awry at, like today Facebook, went awry, and your Zoom meeting, yes, and I had problems with the internet this morning as well. So yeah, I think there's no point crying about it.
Right. And, so laughter seems so light and fluffy. All of the things that I offer seem to be these simple solutions that are waiting. They're right here. I mean, laughter is waiting in all of us to burst out, right? We just have to do it. Everybody's heard laughter's the best medicine. My next expression is, or question is, have you had your daily dose? Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, the love drugs. When we're laughing, all those beautiful drugs are careening, or chemicals are careening through our body, versus cortisol when we're stressed. We're not breathing properly when we're stressed, and we're secreting cortisol. And we need a little bit of that, to get ourselves going. But today, our little amygdala, the stress center in our brain, hasn't evolved since, well, ever. It's hidden back there in the back of our skull. And so when we go into stress today, our brain, our amygdala, thinks that we're in imminent danger. Sometimes we are, but for the most part, we're not. I would say 98% of the time, we're not, in imminent danger, but our body is acting as if. So stress is it really is a killer. I think that about 90% of today's illnesses are stress related. It's really high. So if we can help manage our stress, or have tools like laughter and, play and dance and singing, these kind of simple things, if we act like children, like childlike, not childish, just like playing and having fun and connecting and not being so serious, life can be a lot more grand. Really. I mean, it can just be such a wonderful, it is a gift. It's a beautiful gift. They say we won the lottery already just being born, right? All those little spermies that made it there, and you're the one that made it. So how beautiful. It's not that kind of show, folks. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Yes, you don't spit out your cereal.
So we really take life serious, and people say, man, we're in this pandemic, there's war, there's economies are collapsing, so many things are being heaped on top, like how much can we handle? If we laugh, it really helps us to cope a little bit better, because when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly, so our body's not getting what it needs. For sure, our brain, our answering machine, isn't getting the oxygen it needs to help us come up with solution. And we just feel crappy. When we're stressed, our shoulders are hunched over, we're worried. All of these low vibration activities are not helping us come up with better solutions and live just more joyfully. And talking about, at work, it's a summit for talking to the experts about work. Imagine corporations if they had a laughter club once a week or once a month, or just once. Just try it, and people get connected. It breaks down barriers. Imagine the boss, the CEO, and the people in the mailroom, all laughing together. It's not jokes or comedy. It's intentional laughter exercises. So there's, clapping and chanting, little games, rhythm, and it really is, it just helps us feel good. So it helps open up our brain so that we can be more creative, come up with better solutions, to increase the bottom line. That's what corporations want. You can have it. If you have happy employees, they're not skipping work that day. They're not calling in sick because they're like, oh, it's laughter day, I better go. Because you get connected. You it's like missing out on the golf game, right? Everything happens on the golf course. What about if it happens right in the corporate setting, and everybody's playing together? There's no hierarchy during the laughter club. Everyone's just playing together. It's magic. Everyone feeling good. And like I said, when we feel good, we do good.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, when you feel not stressed and you're right, shoulders back, and yes, and breathing's really helpful for mm, bringing about calm, and laughter is part of that. So how do you do laughter yoga, Cathy?
Thank you. Yeah, so there's a few pieces, components to a laughter club. So it's a cardiovascular workout. We start with gentle warm up. So it's not doing yoga and laughing. The yoga part is the deep diaphragmatic breathing and the practice of the laughter. So there are, gentle movements, but it's not, doing downward dog or the specific yoga movements. I guess you could do that though. That would be funny too. So during a laughter club, and if anyone hasn't been to a laughter club, I would say if you plan to go at least twice. Like anything, when we try something new, sometimes it's awkward and it might feel weird. And I remember the first time, that I will get to how it works, but I remember my first laughter club back in 2012. I was about to doff my worm mission. It took me 10 years to realize people didn't want worms in the house. I didn't know. And one more person said to me, ew, worms in the house. And I heard it, it hit my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. Why do I care so much? And I really started to question everything. And I went to a business meeting and was introduced to laughter yoga. There was a speaker, 5-minute introduction to laughter yoga, a few activities. And I thought, wow, I don't even do yoga, but laughter yoga, that sounds like something I could do. I love laughing, fun. And then that same week, I was at a networking event, hundreds of people, of course, BC, although now we're coming back again. Yeah, and the very first woman that I met was a laughter yoga teacher. And I said, wow, twice in 1 week, laughter yoga is mainstream. And she said, no, it isn't. And it isn't. It still is not. That night we traveled around together, and I asked everybody, have you heard of laughter yoga? Have you? Nobody had. And I was amazed. I was like, wow, what is happening here? So I attended her club. I love that so much. I got trained as a leader, and I got trained because she was operating in a very congested part of Toronto. Tens of thousands of people live in that corner, on that corner, like in high-rise buildings. And she couldn't keep her club open because there wasn't enough participation. And so I was sad. I was just looking up, wow, look at all these people. They don't know that this wonderful magic medicine, this gift is right here. Like we just need 10 people, that's it, out of 10,000 or however many are at that corner. So they don't know. So then I said, this is too important really to leave to chance. So I'm going to get trained. And I loved being a leader. So I got trained as a teacher. So now I teach leaders. And as you mentioned, I'm a laughter ambassador from 2017. And I love it. I mean, before COVID, I was bringing laughter yoga into long-term care for cancer patients, hospice, schools. And it was big then. The mental health crisis was big already. And then heap on COVID and all the other things that have happened in the past 2 and a bit years. We have a mental health tsunami. That's the only way to talk about the crisis that we have, the secondary invisible crisis that we have, because there's a lot more people that are affected now, not just the fringe people that, we could pretend like we couldn't see them. Now there's more people, and we have to look at them. And so laughter is just this wonderful gift. And I'm being called big time to bring laughter. My laughter income is just about replace my worm income. And I think, right, I know 20 years of doing that. And I just think it's just so needed right now. There's so many people that are struggling. So when we're in a depression, we're anxious, we're frustrated, we're not present. We're just thinking about worry. We're thinking about this and that and the other thing. So many thoughts. What we need to do is not stop the thoughts. They're never stopping. They're like clouds. Just thank them. Thanks for stopping by. Now blow away. you know. So during a laughter class, I know that was a big long-winded answer. So a laughter club. So there's clapping and chanting. And don't worry, it's not a cult. The laughter cult. So when you're clapping, you clap palm to palm. You're activating the meridians. So there's a rhythm, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and the clapping is very important. I didn't realize until especially during COVID, I've really dove deep into laughter about why it works. What are the benefits? Why should we do it? So I really feel like the expert. I'm so happy that I'm talking to the experts on this summit because I feel like I really have I understand why we need to do this, and not just for a minute or two, not while we're watching a movie or at a stand-up, a comedy show, because jokes are conditional. Not everybody's going to think the joke is funny. First of all, you have to understand the joke. So if you have any form of dementia, that's not happening. Or if the joke is about somebody, like some group, not funny for them. So laughter yoga is just laughing. So the clapping gets us out of our head. For those that are very serious and you're like, you want me to just laugh? What? They have trouble smiling sometimes, right? They're very serious. We all know people like that. It kind of makes me sad because I'm like, if you just smile, then you start secreting the love drugs, right? We can trick our mind. Like when you go to a club for the first time, it's your mind will be like, this is weird. What are you doing? Stop it. You look ridiculous. Because our ego is there to keep us safe, to keep us from looking ridiculous. When you're laughing full on, you look ridiculous, but everyone's doing it, so it's fine. Right? So as soon as we smile, we start sending those love drugs to our brain. So our brain says, wow, I must be happy because I'm smiling. So then we add a little giggle, ha ha ha. Then we start secreting more of those love drugs. Then we add some movement. It's one thing after another, and it really is contagious. And we start a laughter club in person. On Zoom, we don't do this. I think it's too challenging because the squares are all in different spots in the Zoom room. So it's a little bit more challenging. And on Zoom, it really does work beautifully. It really is wonderful technology that we can all connect. In person is kind of another level of awesome. When you're laughing, like anything, like when we do anything in person, it's much better. Except meeting you, Rose.
Bounce off.
I haven't met you yet.
People. Yeah, you can bounce off people. It's like laughter is contagious. If one person's laughing and you don't even really know what they're laughing about, but it's contagious because you feel like you need to laugh too.
Right? Yeah, we're primed for laughter. It's really interesting. When we hear people laughing, we wonder, hey, what are they laughing at? And I recently heard actually that our brains are wired for negative. So it's really not surprising that the news is so negative, that, when somebody's telling a story and they're like, oh, you think that's bad, you should hear what happened to me. Instead of saying, oh, you think that's good, wow, look at the good thing that happened to me, wow, let's just celebrate all of our wins, rather than talking about, going down into hell, like let's just all march down into the black hole. No, because that's not helpful. That's not helping us feel better for the moment. It's not helping anything except us, what do they say, misery loves company or something. Yes, other than just being company. But I think rather than being miserable company, why not be happy company and help kind of raise the vibration? It really is a challenge, because when people are set and we get in that groove, and we're just in the groove of negative, and that's what we hear, that's what we know, but the world's falling apart, and climate change and all these storms and all these things. If you can't control those things, we cannot personally control all of that, all of those happenings in the world. And I don't mean let's not worry about it. We need to worry about it too, and keep our composure, stay strong, because if we're not strong, our immune system is being chipped away at because we're under stress.
Yes. Yeah. And stress is no good. And yeah, I mean, the pandemic has brought unwanted challenges that, you know, we have no control of. Even now, after like 2.5 years, it's still challenging a lot of people, because, you know, I don't think it's ever going to go away. And we need to
No, I don't
find.
think it's going to go away. No, it's here, and we need to find a way to manage. But not staying in the house, like not being afraid. Like, we need to be exposed to people. We need to connect. We are social creatures. So staying on your own is not helpful. You're really just going to get further into a black hole if you stay on your own. You're going to just drive yourself cuckoo. You know, because you're just with that voice in your head who is never your friend. You would never pick a friend like the voice in your head. It's such a critic. And we need to just acknowledge that is the ego, again, trying to keep us safe. And we need to just dismiss that. Thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts. Now stop talking.
Absolutely, yeah. I have one of those itty bitty shitty little devils on my shoulder that is, you know, not helpful to my good mood that I'm in, and, you know, something will happen, and you know, oh God, you're an idiot, or, you know, geez, you're stupid, or the F word comes out, and, you know, seems like it's a disaster at the time, when in actual fact it really isn't a disaster. And, you know, and we need to train our brains, I think, to be happier.
It is just retraining our brains. You said it. That's it, Rose. We just need to change the needle. We just need to move to a different groove, so that now, oh, look, and it's going to take practice. So if you come to a laughter club once, or whatever you're going to do to get out of the funk that you're in, go do it like as a habit. Decide that, oh, I'm going to go weekly, or I'm going to go daily, so that you can retrain your brain, and then it's automatic. You just automatically get into that. And there's a thing called power posing, that if people are, you know, not confident, say if people have a business and maybe sales aren't so great because they're not making enough calls, because it's scary. It's like, oh, what if they say no? What if they say yes? All right. Imagine they're going to say no for sure unless you ask them. That's one of my favorite expressions, by the way. It's no for sure unless you ask, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So, you know, we can do, there's little tips that tricks that we can do, again, to trick our mind. And one is power posing. It's a really great TED talk by Amy Cuddy. It was one of the top 10, but that was a few years ago. So it may have moved down the line. Amy Cuddy, power posing. She's a social psychologist, and talks about, you know, doing power posing. So taking up space, being big. You can't see, but I have my arms on my hips. Or you could do like, you know, just big, even like this, like victory sign, you know, just sitting like this. And that, you know, it really does trick your mind. And then you become what you act. If you act happy, oh my goodness, all of a sudden, wow, I'm happy all of a sudden. And you don't even realize that now you seem to be smiling. And when I walk around, because I'm a laughter teacher and a laughter leader, and I really want people to get this, when I'm out walking around, my resting bitch face is smiling. I really want people to wonder, what is she up to? She's always smiling. And when I'm smiling, I'm secreting the love drugs. So it's kind of dual purpose, where it tricks my mind. I get to act happy, and I am happy. And I, you know, it really has affected how I operate my life. And I have so many opportunities, because I'm always looking up. I'm always looking for the opportunity. I think, you know, I recently heard, I attend a lot of summits, and I think I'm addicted. And I recently heard that the opportunity of a lifetime comes every week.
Okay.
Right? Haven't you had more than one opportunity of a lifetime
Yes.
in your life?
Yes.
Yes. you know, every week sounds like a lot, but if we're looking, if we're like, I wonder, even I sort of do a little challenge with myself. I wonder what today's opportunity of a lifetime will be, you know, and then you're just looking, oh my goodness. And things happen when you're looking for the opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah.
When you set that as your guide for the day, it really is quite phenomenal what happens.
Yes, I'm just putting the link to your website in the chat so that people can reach out to you and learn a bit more about laughter yoga and you know, what you do and why it's so important, because it is important. I mean, it's not only just in your personal life that it's important, because it's important in business too, because if you can't laugh at yourself, which in Australia, that's what we were known for, is, you know, taking the mickey out of ourselves and you know, being able to laugh at ourselves. And we seem to have lost that ability because of the political correctness, because it used to be, you know, well, it's deemed politically incorrect now to laugh at ourselves. And I can't see why that is. We have so many idiosyncrasies here in Australia that we've lost a lot of them. And it's such a shame, because I think the ability to laugh at yourself is makes the world go around. It makes it a happier place.
Oh, it's a gift. Can you imagine? The comics would all be out of work if they couldn't laugh at themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it really does lighten everything. If you can laugh at yourself rather than beating yourself up, it changes everything. You know, about work, there is, you know, thank goodness, laughter is the best medicine. It's scientifically proven. There are clubs around the world. I think we're over 120 countries now where there are laughter clubs. And it's, you know, so different countries have done different pockets of research, some on cancer, some on, you know, heart attacks. And there was the Laughter Yoga University did some research in India with some IT professionals on stress. And when after they did what, you know, whatever their experiment, whatever their procedure was, what they found was that the heart rate was reduced, stress level was reduced, cortisol was reduced, the love drugs were all increased, feelings of connectedness and just good feelings of, you know, just having good health, all increased. Everything increased from laughter. You know, again, it helps connect you. You can come up with solution better. It's such a magic thing. It just is so simple. And I believe it was squished out of us. Someone said, like, by the ancient Greeks. I haven't confirmed that, but it kind of makes sense, because when people are laughing full on in a crowd, you can't silence them. You can't even shush them. Like, there's no stopping people when they're laughing full on, because they're just, it's such a big release. I think that's what happens when we laugh. It's not even a very good survival mechanism. We can only laugh when we're safe, in a safe environment, because when we're laughing full on, our knees get weak. So if we were being chased by a predator, we wouldn't be able to escape if we were, you know, having a big old laugh.
No,
So,
probably not.
you know, right? So how wonderful. What happens when we laugh, right? The love drugs, oxygen, so our face gets flushed, right? Because the blood is coming up to our face. As a laughter yoga teacher, laughter goes with everything. So I incorporate tapping, emotional freedom technique, and I'll talk about that in a moment if people haven't heard of that. Brain gym and other healing modalities. I really want people to get out of stress. And I know that laughter is really the fastest way for us. Nothing is for everybody. I have encountered people who were just unable. They were unable, Rose, to crack a smile or even be in the energy of laughter, because it is very high vibration. I believe it's the laughter, the song of the gods, because it's so high vibration that, you know, you can't bring down those laughter people, because we're just up here, like vibrating up here. So if you're feeling really bad, if you're feeling really sad, it may be hard for you to attend a laughter. It could be painful for you. Right? So just ease in and and keep on trying, because it is a magic thing. Once you break through and you realize, wow, this is so beautiful. The first time I went with my mother-in-law. I said to her, hey, you want to go to a laughter yoga club? And she once told me, I always go wherever you say, whenever you ask me to go somewhere, because it's always going to be an adventure. So I said, you want to go to a laughter yoga with me? And she said, what's laughter yoga? And I said, I don't know, but I don't want to go alone. So we went, and it was weird. We were doing the clapping, the chanting, we were doing the little games, and we kept looking at each other like it was weird, but we were laughing. And when we left there, we both agreed that it was awkward. That was a strange experience, but wow, I feel great. And then when I called her the next day, I said, I slept great last night. How did you sleep? And she was like, yeah, I slept really good. So it's like, maybe we felt weird, but we felt great after. So there really is magic in it, but you have to go and do it. You have to actually go and employ it, and you have to laugh for a certain amount of time. Like they say, 10 to 15 minutes of sustained belly laughter to get the benefits, to get the rock hard abs like I have from laughing, right? Because our diaphragm is attached to all of our organs. So when we're laughing, our diaphragm's moving around. It's like internal jogging. And we kind of forget, about when we're laughing, we're we're expelling. So at a certain point, it forces us to breathe deep. We have to go, and our stomach's hurting, our cheeks, or maybe we're crying, to continue ha-haing, we have to take a beautiful long inhale. And so it's a wonderful way to oxygenate your beautiful body. Our brain requires 25% more oxygen than the rest of our body as an operating principle. So when we're stressed, we're not breathing properly. So laughter really does force us. And I love using the example of keys, like ever lost your keys, phone, glasses, and you're flapping around. You're like, I gotta go. The longer you're flapping around, you're never finding your keys in that state, because your brain is literally being deprived of oxygen. So hopefully my little voice will squeak into your head next time. I can't prevent you from losing things. Sorry. So what I want you to do next time you're flapping around, you lost something, just stop, take a nice deep breath in, laugh it off, apologize to all the people you just yelled at. And then, oh my gosh, my keys are right here. Look at that. Because we actually get tunnel vision when we get stressed, because we just need to get out of where we are. We're stressed. We need to get out of stress. So this is the fastest way for us to do it. It's fun. We connect. And I would love to give an example of an experience I had when I was in long-term care, of course, before COVID. They're still not really having many guests in person yet in long-term care. So it's a problem. But so there I was. So in long-term care, they'll ask, how many people do you want? And they'll go and wheel people in, and you have as many as you want. So one woman was wheeled in with her worker, and she was sleeping. She didn't participate the whole time. And at a certain point, which was fine because you still get the benefit, you still get this energy. And at a certain point, the woman's worker said, oh my gosh, look, Ida's smiling. And it was like, oh, wow. I don't know if she was sleeping, what was happening, but she was not, her head was sideways and she was smiling. It was like, wow, that was such a beautiful moment. And another one, I was at someone that I met networking. Her uncle was at a long-term care, and it was mostly Italian. It was a lot of Italian residents. And it was Italian home, actually. So Italian was the predominant language. So, but laughter is universal. So I didn't need to speak the language. It was just about, just do what I'm doing and laugh. At the end of the, at the end of the session, she came up to, she said, that was so great. My Uncle Joe said, I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. Like in Italian, he was saying, I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know why I'm laughing. But he was laughing so hard. And she said, he never laughs. So I was like, oh, I'll be back. I made Uncle Joe laugh, but then COVID. So everything changed, right? The whole world is topsy-turvy, and we need this more than ever. I do a lot of school workshops with my worm business, and I hadn't been in a school for 2 years. Everything was shut down. I think Canada and Australia were similar as far as lockdown. Australia may have been a little bit longer. I don't know. I lost track of the competition. Haha, not funny. So I went into a school for the first time just before our summer break, so in June, and man, I was just so shocked how damaged those children were. They just weren't responding the same as they had before the pandemic. You know, it just seemed like they were missing a piece of I don't know, the connection. They were missing
themselves,
something.
I think, because they were just in lockdown, and kids need more one-on-one or, one-to-many action, reaction, interaction than adults do, I think, because, that's where they learn and grow, when they interacting with other kids.
Absolutely. And same with adults too. We need it. I mean, maybe less than children because we're developed and we know what we want and whatever.
Well,
Well,
most of us do.
for the most part. Yeah. What? I mean, maybe not. Yeah, it's really needed, and we really need more laughter leaders. We need more people to be trained. We need more people to be doing it. So then, it really does become this wonderful global movement, and we can help Dr. Kataria in his goal for world peace. Can you imagine? Like, if we're all laughing together, what a great, beautiful thing. Just, like we're all connected, we're high vibe, we're coming up with wonderful solutions for the world's problems, because we're not just mired in the stress, mired in all the negative. Oh, what about this? What about that? No, what about this over here? Hey, what about this wonderful thing over here? It really is perspective, how we look at it. It's just words, but they're very important how we use them, and how we manage our energy. I do a lot of work with special needs. It sounds like so many areas. What don't I do? Special needs is really my very soft spot. That's where I really love. That's where I get my most joy. And not necessarily working with nonverbal, but I can only imagine what it's like to be nonverbal. I'm Chatty Cathy, and I wear the moniker proudly. I love to talk. So, another wonderful experience that I had was working with special needs. I would go monthly to this one organization before COVID again. And sometimes this young man would come who's nonverbal, and his worker would bring him. She'd ask him, you want to go to laughter yoga? And he would come. He didn't talk. He would laugh, but he didn't talk. And one day we did an activity which was called blowing up the balloon. So you have your balloon, and as you breathe in, you blow up the balloon. Then the balloon is fully inflated. And when we got to the top of the balloon, that young man who is nonverbal said, bang. Wow. Right? I was like, oh my gosh, we all just, it was silence, because he doesn't talk. So, and I know, if anyone's listening, they might be like, oh, one word. If you're familiar with the demographic, it's remarkable. And I think what happened was his brain was fully oxygenated, and he was able to verbalize at that moment what he was feeling. Wow. Ooh, so beautiful. What a gift.
Right, absolutely. That would have been an amazing experience.
Yeah. Just I feel like that's what laughter is giving me, all these wonderful experiences. I get to, I'm laughing all the time when I'm out there. So people will say to me, oh, well, you look happy. Oh, something joyful must have happened. And I say, oh, I'm a laughter teacher. Right? Just opens up the door, because they go, oh, either they haven't heard of it, so they say, what's that? And then it gives me an opportunity to hand them my card for my Tuesday club. Because it really is, if we're not talking, as you know, in business, if we're not always talking about what we're doing, it's not bragging. It's like, this is what I do. I'm offering a service. We need to switch our mind about sales. I talked earlier about if people are struggling with sales, just think about it as service. Like if you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your product or service, what you're doing is offering service. You are helping people by selling them what you've got.
Mm.
So we need to switch around a lot of our words. Yeah, we're kind of backwards.
We are a little bit backwards, and we should be focusing on more of the happy stuff rather than all the doom and gloom, because there's just so much of it happening in the world at the moment. And you were right when you said right at the beginning, our news is just full of doom and gloom. I can't remember the last time there was a happy news story.
Yeah, well, I was on the 6 o'clock news, so there was a happy news story here, and I didn't do a crime.
Besides you, my darling.
Right? It's so rare that you get a positive news story. So I really would recommend that people limit the amount of news that they ingest. Limit, I mean, for sure they want to be on the summit today and in your Facebook Live for sure.
Mm.
But I would say, in general, watch how much time you spend on social media, because it does suck the life out of you. When you're looking at it, oh, look at them. It's everybody's highlight reel. Like, it's rare that people are putting their doom and gloom stuff, although some people really put a lot of doom and gloom stuff too. And it's like, oh, maybe that's too much the other way.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but well, I do. It's laughter. The laughter is the answer for everything.
Yes, it is. I mean, and as you said, laughter is the best medicine. It almost cures everything. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
cure everything, but if you're in a funky mood, or you're feeling you've stubbed your toe, rather than crying, laugh. That's what my daughter did. I must. My eldest daughter was born with both of her feet clubbed.
Okay.
And she lived through so much pain through, various operations and things that she had on her feet, that she just learned to laugh through pain. So when she was in pain, the more she'd laugh. So the more pain, the more laughter that she would. So that's how we knew that she was in a lot of pain, because she used to laugh a lot. And that's what got her through all the, few hundred operations. Well, not few hundred, but, quite a few operations. And a lot of those were very, very painful, especially as a small child, because they had to, manipulate her feet so that they would be in a normal position, because she was born like her feet were so bad that she looked like a little frog. Her feet were sort of, curled right into like backwards on each other. So yeah, and so yeah, as she grew up, the more she laughed, the more pain we knew she was in. So yeah, but that's how she coped. She would laugh through her pain, and she still does it.
That's brilliant. I love that strategy. There was a doctor, Dr. Norman Cousins, before the laughter yoga movement. I mean, how laughter yoga. So I'll finish about Norman Cousins. He was diagnosed, and I'm not sure how to say the ailment that he had, but he was given a certain amount of time, like, get your affairs in order. And he was like, no, I'm not ready yet. So he went to a hotel, just started watching comedies and was laughing, just slapstick and whatever. So just comedy. He said, what did he say? 10 to 15 minutes of sustained mirth is what he called it. He would get 2 hours of pain-free sleep. Like, which is massive. If you're in pain is just, it's all you can think about is the pain that you're in, if you're in pain. So that he was able to have 2 hours of pain-free sleep, it was incredible, and extended his life. He wrote a whole book on the anatomy of an illness, about his experience. And so laughter yoga, Dr. Kataria was writing an article about laughter for a medical journal. And as he was doing the research, he came across all this research about, laughter is the best medicine. So he said, well, if laughter is the best medicine, why don't we just laugh? And I mean, I think this is funny because in India, he could only find 5 people to laugh with to start, right? They're like, no, that's ridiculous. So 5 people went to a park every day for 2 weeks. They grew to about 50 people after 2 weeks. And they were telling jokes. So it wasn't laughter yoga yet. It was just telling jokes and laughing. And then after the 2 weeks, the jokes started to become off color. And it was like, oh, we didn't sign up for it. No, we don't know. This isn't what we wanted. So he said, come back tomorrow. I'll have a solution. And he got another download like, oh, well, why don't we just laugh like kids? Kids are just running around laughing. Why don't we just laugh? And so then they just came up with the little games, and it sort of evolved over there. And now there's 40 foundational exercises in laughter yoga. Like milkshake, you make a milkshake and then you drink it, ha ha ha. Laughter cream, just waving, handshake. Like it's just silly. They're just silly games, again, just to get us out of our head, into our body, and just laughing. So laughter yoga started in a park in 1995, and now it's a global movement. He's the laughing guru. And he was ridiculed at the beginning, just like anybody is starting something new, that's different. They get ridiculed. Like, it's like, oh, come on, what are you doing? And even his family said, Madan, come on, you're making us the laughing stock. He's from a small town, a little village. And, but now it's like, oh, we knew you could do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. So perhaps maybe you'd like to go through the tapping, because you did touch on that tapping, and then you might explain what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So tapping is emotional freedom technique, or EFT for short, and it's tapping on the meridians. And I'm so thrilled that tapping is becoming mainstream. I know it's not quite here yet because I'm still meeting people that haven't heard of it. I would really recommend, or really suggest, that people look into tapping if they have any sort of pain or any kind of discomfort, any ailment. Do some tapping and you can help to feel better. So it's tapping on the meridians. And I can actually take us through, like in my laughter club, I tap on 4 spots. But I can take us through, I don't know how much time we have.
Yeah, you've got about half hour left.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so let's go through actual tapping, a round of tapping, and we'll do stress because I think everyone can relate. So there's 9 spots you tap on. You start by tapping just on the karate chop point. And there's a mantra, so I'll ask you to play along, Rose. So I would ask you, you're the host of this summit, so I would just ask you to assign your stress, and anyone that's watching live or in the recording, before you do the tapping, just assign the number. So we're working on stress, but if you have a headache or if you have a pain that you want to work on, you can say that instead. We're going to say stress. What would you say your stress level is between 1 and 10? 10 being, oh, really bad, and 1, oh, it's okay.
Not too bad. I think it's about a 5 because I got the lavender in the diffuser going. Yeah.
Oh, good for you. Okay, a 5. So that's good. So that's just somewhere that we have a gauge. So then you know if it moved or not. Okay, so we start on the karate chop point, and we're just tapping. You're just tapping lightly. And you can tap one side or the other side or both sides because we're bilateral. So you say, even though I have this stress.
Even though I have this stress.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and
completely
love myself.
Good. And that, it's important to say it like you mean it. Even though I have this stress.
Even though I have this stress.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely, deeply love myself.
Okay. One more time, even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely
Love.
love myself. I can't remember. I've got to bed.
That's good. That's perfect. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's perfect. All right. So that's the first point. The next point. So we're just going to take 2 fingers and just tap where I'm tapping, just on the edge of your eyebrow. You might want to move your glasses, or here we go. Yeah, there we go. So then you just say the stress.
The stress.
And then now we're going to tap on the side of the eyebrow. This is the rage point if you ever have road rage, or you're really mad at someone. This stress.
This stress.
Under your eye, right under your pupil, this is stomach meridian. This stress.
This stress.
Under your nose, this stress.
This stress.
Under your mouth, this stress.
This stress.
And your collarbone, just like kind of where there's a little dip. Yeah, this stress.
This stress.
I know it seems so random. And then kind of where your bra is on your ribs. This stress.
This stress.
And then just the top of your head, this stress.
This stress.
So that's one round. That's the 9 tapping points. Now just stop tapping, and I want you to take a nice deep breath in and release. And now assess, where is your stress number between 1 and 10?
Oh, like down the bottom too.
Yeah, beautiful. Yay. So it's really magic. You can stop smoking. It's really hard to stop smoking with tapping because smoking is attached to so many behaviors. So that one's a challenge. But I watched them on a video. I watched them help somebody get over fear of water. You know, they grew up on a river, and the mother said, "Don't go near the river, you'll drown."
Yeah.
And they were petrified. They couldn't even face a swimming pool. They couldn't even face the swimming pool at the beginning. And then after a few rounds of tapping, it took I think it was 30 rounds of tapping, they were able to put their feet in the water.
Wow.
You know, it just,
amazing.
yeah, it's a really amazing. It's like so it's tapping on the meridians, you know, when the picture of the lines on the body, those are the meridians. And there's 14 meridians. It's really it's one continuous one, but kind of 14
spots.
Yeah, let's say spots, sure. and it travels only in one direction. And yeah, so it's really fascinating with the lymph. Again, all these summits that I'm attending, healing summits, and you know, how to feel better. And it's amazing learning about the meridians, you know, the one between the spleen and the heart, I think it is, there's no pump. And it's in that time, each one is in 2-hour time chunks around the clock. And I know that's not 14, that's 12, but okay, never mind. So it's not a mistake that people often have heart attacks Monday morning, because that's when that meridian it's not working, like it's not activated. And yeah, so it's really fascinating. So tapping on these meridians are really key. And I tap on 4 spots. So that's doing one round. If you were wanting, you know, I used to do tapping for if I was going on stage and I was nervous, even though I don't know how this is going to turn out. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. How is this going to go? I don't know. How's this, you know, just tap on the whole round. And then you go and you're like, oh, you're just ready to take on the talk, or, you know, if you need to have a difficult conversation with somebody, doing some tapping, asking your boss for a raise or something.
Yeah.
Right, doing the tapping. But I tap on 4 spots in my club every week. And it's on the stomach meridian, so it's right under your pupils on your cheek. We tapped on that spot. That's stomach. If anyone ever has indigestion, or if they're just feeling, you know, a little bit flighty, they can tap there, and that helps you get grounded. The next one is on kidney, so we tapped here as well. This is K27, or kidney. And our our lymphatic system flows into our cardiovascular through this lymph node. So that's an important one. Thymus is here, like the great apes do this. If we need energy, we can always tap on our thymus. Thymus, like these 4 spots are really, they're organs and they work really hard for us. Thymus is where our T cells go to age. So they're born somewhere else in the body, and then they migrate to the thymus. Our thymus starts to shrink as we age. At puberty, it starts shrinking already. So by tapping on our thymus helps to give us energy and helps to build those T cells. Really important if you have cancer, if anyone's watching. And then the 4th one is on the Spleen Meridian, which is the one that we were doing on like kind of the bottom of your bra strap for the ladies, and about a hand width down from your paw, from your armpit for men. Like it's the same place, but it's just an easy marker for women.
Yes.
And, you know, and spleen is really like, those organs are really important. They work hard for us. When we're in stress, again, I know I'm talking a lot about stress because I keep hearing about stress and how much, you know, how detrimental it is to our health. So if we hear that message, if we can help to manage it, when we go into stress, the stress hormone or the stress meridian is the radiant circus. So they get shut off. They're not getting their beautiful energy, and it comes from the opposite meridian, which is spleen. So when we're under stress, our spleen is not getting any energy. You know, so and I don't know, what does the spleen do? I don't have any idea, but it's important, or we wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we need to have it. So yeah, really good.
Yeah, that was really helpful. Thank you. I feel heaps better just with one round. It's like, it's a mindset thing though too, don't you think? Or
yeah,
because
absolutely.
you want it to work.
You want it? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure about. Yes, I would say, of course, it could be a placebo as well. Absolutely. But how wonderful if we can just tap and it will help us. I mean, see how it works. If you're having any pain and you want to tap on it, again, we did stress, but you could say, even though I have this headache, even though I have this backache, or whatever it is, whatever you're tapping, the important part is, so it's acknowledging where you are. And now there's even more wonderful research into tapping about how you can install different things. So you start by saying, you know, what is, and then what you want. So you don't want the stress anymore. So you start with the stress, but then the stress would be gone, and you would say, I feel peace and calm. Yeah. So beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Cathy, where can people find you if they'd like to, know more about laughter yoga or tapping or any of the wonderful things you've spoken about today?
Yeah, so I would love for everyone to come to my Tuesday club. I guess it will be 6:30 Australia time. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern. You can do the time zone, Mamba.
Yeah.
But it's not too late or too early, Australia time. So it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 30 minutes on Zoom. I do incorporate the tapping, brain gym, and other healing modalities. I do have a dedicated group of people that come weekly. So watch out, you might get addicted to my club. So it's cathysclub.com. The information to sign up for my weekly club is right at the top there. And I've got an upcoming training. I'm also I teach leaders, and I've partnered with a wonderful master trainer from Quebec, Sylvie Deganou Duville, and so you get 2 trainers for the price of one, and it's a 2-day training online, and it's a beautiful thing. And you don't take the training necessarily only to lead a laughter club, but to learn about this magic medicine. So if we can understand why we need to incorporate laughter every day. I have a laughter buddy every morning. I laugh for 5 minutes every morning with a woman on the phone. And it just starts my day in a wonderful way. I start at 7:30, laugh at 7:30, first thing in the morning. It just starts my day on a wonderful, positive, the love drugs. I'm oxygenated. I feel good. I'm ready to take on the day. Yeah. And I also have a a Fun Fab Friday video series. And it's part of the Peace, Passion, Prosperity Project, which is one of the Facebook groups. Just kind of all nice, positive stuff. If people are looking for more positive input, it's a nice group. And I was asked to, every day there's something every day. And Fridays are my day, and I do laughter. Well, not just laughter. They're kind of just, they're called Fun Fab Friday. They're just they're shorts for fun. So I travel around and do different silly antics. So again, if somebody wants, if somebody needs a video for laughing, it's a nice way to, yeah. Are we out of time? Is that why you're asking me how to get in touch?
No, we're not. No, not yet. But I just thought I'd get that over and done with first.
Yeah, good idea.
Because I've had a lot of comments on your video and on your presentation, and so I just thought I'd give people the opportunity to find out a little bit more about where they could find you and what you're up to, and yeah. So just a reminder to people that the live videos are only available for the day that they're recorded. If you want to see more of Cathy and have that on demand, then you need to upgrade your ticket to a VIP, and you can do that through Eventbrite by going to Talking with the Experts online summit, and yeah, upgrade your ticket to VIP, and you can watch Cathy's presentation for the rest of your life. It'll be available. So, and there's also gifts in there. Each of our presenters have offered a gift. So yeah, so that's how you can access Cathy's little laughter yoga presentation forever.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Thank you, Rose. So beautiful. I was, again, before COVID, I had some wonderful experiences. I'm known as the worm woman. So laughter, I mean, now I'm becoming known as the laughter lady too. I was still known as worms. And I got a call one day from a woman that I had networked with. She was at the hospice, and it was a small hospice, 10-bed building. And she said that 9 of the 10 residents had passed that weekend. And she asked me, she said, I know you do laughter yoga, and I'm wondering if you could come in and do laughter yoga for the staff and volunteers. And I said, yes. I jump into things without thinking. I don't know what happens to my brain when people ask me things, but I say yes. They say yes and then figure out how you're going to do it.
That's it.
I'm an empath, yeah. So I'm an empath. When I got off the phone, like I just thought, oh my gosh, yes, they need this more than ever. And as soon as I hung up the phone, I was awash in grief. I didn't know what to do. I just thought, oh my gosh, what did I do? What have I done? How am I going to make these people laugh? I just, again, got all in my head. And then I just trusted. I was like, okay, I was tasked with this job. She called me because she knew I could do it. And so I just need to trust that I can do this and go knowing, like asking for help. Help me, everybody, because, I really wanted to do a wonderful job there because they were hurting. I know that's what they do, but it's really hard when there was such a great exit in one weekend, so many. So I went, and it wasn't the easiest, but it was up there of easiest laughter gigs that I've ever done. Because when I came in, they all knew each other, but they couldn't laugh because they were connected to the people that they were serving. So it was still very heavy. They were still in that dark mourning period, and it didn't feel appropriate for them to laugh together. But when I came from outside, I didn't know any of the people who had passed. So I really wasn't connected. And when I came in, and just as soon as we started, it was like this wonderful release. As soon as one person started laughing, it was just gave everybody else permission. And it was this wonderful, it still warms my heart how I felt that day and how I know that the people, the staff and volunteers felt that day. It was heavy. It was a big moment in that hospice. And because of that day, they incorporated a monthly self-care program.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I that's what I thought. I was like, wow, that's because the work they do is heavy. They, you know, people are passing.
Yeah.
They're going there to transition. But it is hard work. You know, and same in other areas like special needs and long-term care with cancer people, patients. You know, there's so many areas that it's very heavy. It's very hard work. Emotionally, it's emotionally draining. People love what they're doing. They love serving. But we need to care for ourselves. So this is laughter is a wonderful thing to do with the clients. So with say the cancer patients and or the staff, the nurses, the doctors.
Yeah.
And they've done, you know, and they've done research as well on doing laughter before a surgery with the team. So the team's all in the room and everybody's laughing. And then they go into their surgery. And when they come out, how, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Because I told you. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You can't help what happens in the Zoom room.
Yeah, but I can imagine that, you know, it would be very trying for people in hospice, especially because to, you know, be able to laugh, or even in surgery, because I know when I go to have surgery done, I'm always laughing before I go in, and recovery time seems to be a lot less.
Absolutely. Recovery time is way less when you've got, so our body is oxygenated, all those love drugs careening around, again, versus cortisol. When we get stressed, the cortisol needs to be managed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've come to the end of our time, Cathy. I'm so sorry that you have to leave me.
Oh, thank you, Rose. I enjoyed this very much. I hope it was beneficial, and I hope the people watching enjoyed it as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will talk to you again really, really soon.
I look forward. Thank you, Rose. I hope your summit
Perfect.
goes really wonderfully.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye for now.